What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this video is something that I put together the last couple of days. It took me a little while to actually find the clips and kind of compile it. It's a little long, I apologize. But being that our boy DSP was fired or terminated or laid off or mistreated by Stream Elements, you know, our boy DSP has a pattern. He has a pattern, and for the last 15 years, every couple months or so, something happens where he's either let go, fired, or laid off. So of course, we've heard the stories millions of times, and our boy DSP retcons everything. So I wanted to go back and actually do a tally of all of the companies that have either fired, companies, programs, associations, people, whatever have you, that may have fired our boy DSP, laid him off, or just said, bye-bye, we're tired of your toxicity, and they just moved on. So the first one, you guys know, it is the dreaded helicopter company. We all know that they mistreated Phil.
Assistant. I don't know. I never thought about it. In reality, many years ago, when I first started as a full-time YouTuber, that first year, 2011, I still had some contact with some of the office workers who I had worked with at that helicopter company. And there were one or two people who I was still friendly with and I would chat with every once in a while. And one of them was actually like, man, I hate this company. I want to get out because it's falling apart. Since you got laid off, everything's terrible and more people are getting laid off and I got to get out of here.
So that's the first one there, folks. He was laid off. I'm pretty sure he wasn't laid off. He was probably fired. But we'll take DSP at his word. So there you go. Early on in his career, he loses his first job. And of course, he did nothing wrong.
When I told them what I did for a living, uploading videos to YouTube full time, they were like, hey, how much money do you make? I was like, oh, you know, like 3 times more than what I was making at the company. And they were like, what the fuck? Really? I was like, yeah, I make a ridiculous amount of money just uploading videos to YouTube. It's stupid. Okay. And
yes, it's very stupid. Okay, our next one here is Best Buy. Now, I know many of you guys have heard the story where our boy Phil was mistreated by his management team, where apparently they accused him of committing, I don't want to say if it's fraud, but essentially he was using his employee discount to buy a whole bunch of PlayStation 3 for, I guess, his friends, for a tournament that he's running, whatever. It seems to always change the story. So this specific one here, our boy was fired. Let's get into it.
Management, and there was a lot of conflict. So what Best Buy decided to do, instead of doing the right thing and saying, okay, listen everyone, we screwed up, we're going to try to get rid of Best Buy for Business, and we're going to dissolve you into the stores as management, they tried to find ways to fire and lay off the people who were on the Best Buy for Business team. So they actually tried to frame me. Yes, Best Buy, this company who everyone goes to and shops, they tried to illegally frame me. And
there goes that buzzword, illegal. They tried to frame our boy Phil. A multi-billion-dollar company decided they wanted to find Phil, just Phil himself, and illegally fire him. That's what Phil wants you to think. Of the hundreds and thousands of employees they have, they found DSP, they heard about him, and they wanted to make an example of him.
Say that I abused the store discount so that they could fire me and basically get me off the payroll. So here's what happened, okay? Basically, there's a store discount when you work for Best Buy, and it's pretty good. It was basically the cost of whatever the item it was that you were buying, plus a certain margin for shipping and storage costs. So when I was there, I bought a lot of stuff. In fact, I just talked about my surround sound system and all that. I bought that stuff when I worked at Best Buy because it was a huge discount. So a lot of stuff I had purchased completely legitimately.
You heard that, folks. A huge discount. Watch what he says next.
Under the store discount. Well, all of a sudden they said, we got to figure out how to fire Phil. What do we do? What did they do? Well, at that time, during that year, I was actually one of the tournament organizers for East Coast Championships, which at the time was the largest tournament on the East Coast of the United States. It was considered a major at the time. And I was one of the co-organizers along with Josh Wigfall, who's a well-known player from the New York area. And I was basically getting all of the resources together, the monitors, the consoles, everything. And so that year, all the games were still being played on PS2. This was before PS3 had come out, okay? And most of the major games occurred in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Capcom vs. SNK 2. This was back when those games were still actively being played in the tournament scene before Street Fighter 4 had come out. And they were all being played on PlayStation 2. So I only had one, and I needed to buy more for the tournament. Now, per the store discount policy, it says anything you buy for the store discount has to be for your own personal use. You can't buy it and give it as a gift. You can't buy it for your friend and give it to them. These were for my own personal use. In fact, I still own them. I still have these PlayStation 2s in my closet. One of them is actually currently hooked up to my TV, and I have 2 more in my closet. So they were for my own personal use. The fact that I was using them for a tournament was beside the fact. So I bought them.
No, you moron. You bought them for the tournament. You didn't use them for personal use. That's the reason why you got fired.
With my store discount. Did I even ask for my store discount? No. Whenever someone who's a store employee bought something at the store, they gave you your store discount. So I purchased these 3, and guess how much money I saved on these consoles? 40 cents each. And that's because, if people who don't know, is that when retail stores sell consoles, controllers, anything that's hardware, they don't make any money on it. They actually sell it at cost, okay? It's the software that they make money off of. So the store literally, 40-cent discount, I saved no money on this. I bought these consoles. A week later, I come in and I'm suspended. Go home. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They said, we can't talk to you about it. You're suspended. Go home. So then I get called, come in a week later. I come in a week later. The store manager's in his office. He has a meeting with me. You're fired for abusing the store discount because you bought 3 PlayStation 2s with the store discount. I said, how does this make any sense? I saved 40 cents each. This is ludicrous. To which he basically said, I can't talk to you anymore. Get out of my store. So I filed for unemployment. And if you can believe it, Best Buy tried to deny me my unemployment, saying that they had terminated me for violating the store's discount policy. So we had a hearing. That's right. I actually had a hearing with a judge, to which I said directly to the judge, I said, do you really think I would jeopardize my job for 40 cents on 3 consoles?
Yes, you would.
Like...
Alright, folks, the next one here is, of course, Google AdSense. Now, this is YouTube's payment system. So essentially back in, I think, 2010, our boy DSP was doing what he always does, and he was scamming YouTube by clicking his own videos and ad to try to bump up his own ad revenue, right? And they snagged him for it, and he got terminated from the partner program. Let's get into it.
2 months until YouTube accused me of click fraud, saying that basically I sat there clicking my own ads, when in reality I never clicked my own ad ever. So YouTube accused me of something I didn't do, kicked me out of the AdSense program. I then went to a third-party website called Blip TV.
They don't need to accuse you, pimp. Every time you click on it, your IP address gets registered, so they know specifically who is watching their video. You do know that, right, Phil? You do know that. And I'm pretty sure back then you didn't have a VPN. So you were too stupid and you did something against terms of service, which is against terms of service, to try to get more money. So your greed bit you in the ass again.
That didn't work out. So I came back to YouTube and I said, listen, I'm on my last legs here. There's no jobs in the job market. I've been laid off from my job and I can't find another job. And I want to make YouTube work, but I'm just getting shut down every direction I go. So finally I went to Machinima. Now keep in mind, this was the early days of gaming channels being partnered way back in early 2011. This was not this year where every channel under the sun is partnered. And I contacted Machinima through a contact of mine who I knew. His name's Hutch. If you're a fan of Machinima content, you probably know who he is. And we've been at odds previously, kind of went back and forth in a few videos, disagreeing with each other. Okay, so finally we basically had it out, and we were fine. There was no more beef between us, and I contacted him. He put me in contact with the appropriate parties at Machinima, and I've been a Machinima partner ever since. Okay.
Alrighty, so yeah, you hear Phil's lame excuse. So the next one here is Machinima. Now we know our boy got fired, or essentially his contract wasn't renewed, but of course he retroed that God knows how many times. So let's get into this one, Machinima.
I want you to understand that This is going to be a little bit more of an interactive situation because the bottom line is my partnership with Machinima is ending shortly. In fact, I believe it's only like 3 more days. I'm not positive. I have to double check. I think it's like 3 more days, and then DSP Gaming's partnership is over with Machinima. Now, here's the thing. I'm currently in talks with 2 other companies in order to see, you know, if I can get DSP Gaming partnered right after, you know, the partnership with Machinima ends. The good news is I've already gotten approved by one company. However, this company is not going to put me into, say, a managed partnership. And if that is the case, and they, you know, they're not willing to do that, sadly, all that's going to happen here is I am going to be able to put ads on my videos on DSP Gaming, but there's going to be a lot of issues with content ID matching, and there's going to be a lot of issues, in particular, with Nintendo stuff. Alright, I just want to make that abundantly clear that Nintendo stuff is going to have an issue. Nintendo likes to claim everything. They love to claim people's videos. To a certain group of people who definitely don't.
Sorry, folks. So the next one, of course, is Blip TV. So this was another type of Machinima, provider that our boy Phil jumped to. And of course, that did not work out either.
Fucking deserve to be treated and talked about like that. It's ridiculous that I thought that it was funny, and I'm very apologetic today that back then I was an immature idiot and I did that stuff. Okay. So I get kicked off at Blip TV without any kind of discussion. It wasn't even like, oh, we'll talk about it. You can't do that kind of content. Remove that content, and moving forward, be a better person. It was just, you're off Blip. All right. I thought that was completely unfair. I was treated unfairly. You should at least give me a chance, right?
Okay, he's retroed that one a couple times where he actually stated that the reason why they let him go was he wasn't making enough money for them, and he was getting spammed. They were getting spammed with complaints about him, and they just couldn't afford the resources, so that's why. But then he tries to claim that he wasn't fired or let go. It was a mutual parting, which is a lie.
To do the right thing. I was immature back then. I should have known better. At the very same time, give me a chance to learn and grow. They didn't do that. They just said, you're gone. Within a few years, Blip was gone. Completely gone. Just, boop, they failed as a business off the internet. If I had stayed on Blip, I might have literally gone out of business myself. Because all my content would have been on there housed. Now what am I going to do? Upload 4 years of gameplay to DSP Gaming on YouTube in one fell swoop? No. I mean, that would have been ridiculously terrible. Okay? So then, right, I'm partnered with Machinima for many years and they're treating me good. All of a sudden, they start treating me terribly. And I'm asking them, what's going on? Can you help me with my issues? Why are you ignoring me? They basically kick me out of their partner program, okay? Fine, fuck you. They go out of business. Completely. Gone. Don't exist anymore. It's just kind of like these weird things happen to me. I get mistreated, and then, I don't know if you want to call it karma or whatever.
No more. It's called a coincidence.
I don't know. But it just seems like, to me, it's just a pattern that's followed me along the 14 years I've been a content creator. You know what I'm saying?
Alrighty, pimps. The next one is Curse. Yet another Machinima / Blip TV provider that our boy Phil got the boot from. Good lord. It's just a non-stop pattern with this guy.
I used to be partnered with Curse on YouTube, alright? I made a little bit of extra money being partnered with Curse, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. And in reality, when I lost my partnership with Curse, everything changed on YouTube in regards to partnerships to my benefit. But that's despite the point. I was partnered with Curse for about a year, all right? Curse terminated my partnership because people were trolling me. That was the reason that I got terminated. They said so many people were trolling me and false flagging my videos on YouTube that they had to review so many false flags that they couldn't deal with it anymore. And so they terminated the partnership because they didn't have the manpower to handle the amount of false complaints against me. That's literally what I was told in the call. I had a phone call with me and everything, and that's what the person told me. I was like, wow. Well, obviously I'm not going to blame you, but that's pretty unprofessional, don't you think? And the answer is, yeah, it is. And by the way, Curse is owned by Amazon. Yep. So if they're doing it on Curse, obviously they're probably doing it on Twitch too, right? What a place. What a place to do business.
Alrighty, and the next one, alright, is technically not a company. I know. But still, our girl Panda Lee here, after many years of being with this guy, and we all know the stories about, you know, the grooming and all that, she woke up and decided, I am done. So let's give it up to Panda Lee for leaving and firing our boy Phil. Crying emojis in the chats, pimps. Crying emojis. This one hits hard. By the way, take a look at the cereal he's actually eating. God. So sad. So sad. By the way, when you guys watch the video and see this part, please make sure to add a crying emoji in the chats. Please. Please do it. Oh my lord, he's eating frozen cereal. Big ups to Panda Lee. Hope she's having her best life without Phil. Great job quitting on Phil. I would have done the same thing. Okay, our next one here is Twitch. And we all know the Twitch saga.
Like, daisy chain the signal out and like split it and go zoop and shoot out the two places at once. However, you know, I don't know, son Robin, if you've only been watching me here on YouTube or whatever, but basically Twitch mistreated me completely this year. First, they kicked me out of their partner program with no explanation. When I requested one, they said that they had done research into my content and found that I make hateful content. To which I was like, no, I don't. I don't ever make hateful content. Watch any of it. What am I doing on my stream that's hateful, right? Nothing. I'm not that...
I found over 421 videos of Phil saying hateful slurs against African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, homosexuals, LGBT community, and so on and so on.
That kind of a person. I never said a hateful word to someone who hasn't completely said insulted me or whatever first, right? So basically, they're full of shit. I asked them to provide evidence of what they were saying, and they ignored me and refused and then stopped talking to me. Okay? The thing is, they didn't ban me from the site. If actually I'd done something wrong, they would have banned me from the site. So what I suspect happened, because other content creators had the same thing happen to them this year, and it's basically a shadow ban is what it is. You're kicked out of the partner program, but you're still allowed to stream it there if you want. I think what it is they have a situation where they want to kick a certain kind of content creator out of their money-making ventures for whatever reason. Maybe it's an investment into the site or something. Who knows what it is? But basically, it was me and other content creators as well who don't necessarily do anything wrong got kicked out of the site, especially those who get trolled a lot. For some reason, got kicked off the site and the partner program this year. Okay?
It was you and Wings, that was it, and the only other person that got removed, or technically got removed, was Dr. Disrespect, and that was because of money.
So I got mistreated. Okay? And I'm not going to go back to a site like that, even if it means more exposure for my streams. I'm not going to go back to a place where I could be mistreated. By the way, after that happened, I even said, you know what? I like being on Twitch. I built up a community on Twitch for 4.5 years. I'll continue to stream there. I streamed for 2 more weeks, and then they fucking suspended my account, saying that I had said like a racist slur that I didn't say.
Sure, Phil. Okay, our next one here is Streamlabs. Just very much, you guys know what Streamlabs is. It's a streaming service like Streaming Elements that got tired of Phil's despicable behavior and sent him to ban world.
So, it is what it is. That's the life I lead, basically, is every day I stream, you guys support in definitely different ways, okay? Urameshi, I can't look at any links don't work here in the chat, just so you know. Okay, anyway. So, all of a sudden, Streamlabs, a year and a half ago, stops accepting tips for me. My page doesn't exist. So, I contact them, and I get nothing. And then I never really told you guys this. Eventually, they did respond, because I asked them several times over the course of last year, and I got a response from someone who said, I'm not even kidding, here's what they said. Oh, our apologies that you never received any notice of why your Streamlabs was suspended, but it was suspended because you were mass reported and, you know, violations of our terms of service and yada yada. And I went back to them and I said, I didn't, you know, violate your terms of service. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you provide any evidence? Nothing. They ghosted me. So literally, Streamlabs did exactly the same as what Twitch did. When Twitch last year kicked me out of their partner program and said, oh, well, we're kicking out of you because we did research and found hateful speech. And I said, well, provide evidence, because I don't know what you're talking about. I can't improve if I don't know what I did wrong. And quite frankly, legally, if you're going to terminate an agreement I have with you in your partner program, you need to have evidence.
In that very agreement, which you never bothered to read, it specifically says that Twitch and YouTube can terminate your contract for whatever reason they feel like. They probably heard, even if they hear that your breath stinks, if they decide that that's the decision why they want to terminate the contract, they can. It's in the contract. You need to take maybe an hour of your day and read through the contract you sign. YouTube has the same clause, pimp.
To prove the fact that I did something wrong. They also ghosted me. I never provided any evidence, just ignored me from then on. Okay? So there's a running pattern with these companies. Now, a year and
yes, the pattern is you doing crappy behavior and you getting fired for it or laid off or whatever. That's the pattern, Phil.
a half ago, when that happened with Streamlabs, okay, I actually...
Yes, this was one of my favorites. So last November, our boy Phil got the boot from Teespring. So of course he can't sell any merch on Teespring. And that was a beautiful stream where he talked about it, and you know, he kept bitching about it for months. And of course now he's actually asking his dents to do the research for him to find him a new Teespring-like company so that he can start selling merch again. So let's hear this one.
Teespring, which is now known as Spring, right? I've had a store with Teespring for 4.5 years. I've had products on there for a very, very long time, okay? Not once. It's raining. That's interesting. Not once in the entirety of the time that I was on Teespring using their site or their business or their services was I contacted by Teespring and said, we feel that this design is harmful. We feel that this design is not in line with what we think is acceptable on our site. Not once was I contacted at all by Teespring for anything like that at all. From what I'm to understand, okay, at one point, there was a design on there that was removed, and I don't even know because I didn't get a notice. I think what happened is if Teespring emailed me about it, it went to my spam folder. I think it was there was a punished DSP design that was supposed to be me looking like Big Boss from Metal Gear. And I guess originally that design was submitted as a joke, maybe by a troll. I'm not sure. I don't even know because it was so long ago. I don't even know. But at one point, someone said to me, Phil, are you aware that that design is missing from your Teespring site? And I said, no. And I went there and it was just gone. I'm like, I didn't get notice. I didn't even have, like, it didn't even say anything on my Teespring page to explain it. It was just gone. Okay, now that was just like years ago. All right, so I don't even know what happened. So besides that, again, I've never had anything happen to me on Teespring negative at all. The only interactions I ever had with Teespring were positive. When I first started with Teespring, they actually assigned a person, much like how I had a partner manager with Twitch. I had a manager who worked with me on my designs. They saw all my design. They actually helped me upload and design some of the shirts and things that I have right now. They helped me with that personally. They actually went out of their way to have a person come and help me reshape, resize my designs and things to fit on t-shirts and everything. Okay? So they were well aware of the designs and things that I had on there. They had seen them. You know what I'm saying? They had seen them. They knew it was there. All of a sudden this year, it was what, a month ago? Someone says to me, Phil, what happened to your Teespring? What do you mean? Your Teespring is gone. Gone? I go to do it. It's gone. It's removed. And when I try to log in to get an answer, it says you have to contact our customer support department for, to get help. So I contact the customer support department and they say, well, we can't help you. You have to contact our content team or something. I don't even know what it is. They basically gave me an email address. So I emailed the team and they never responded. They ignored me. They don't care. They literally just deleted my store and never gave me an answer as to why. They just don't care. That's exactly what happened to me with Streamlabs.
Don't you notice a pattern there, Phil? You would think a normal person would realize maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the problem, Phil. Oh, Lord. All right, so the next one is Stream Elements, which we know just happened. So let's just get into it.
You don't have to worry about that. As long as you're really okay, then don't worry about it. You'll be fine. So I signed up with Stream Elements. Here we are. A year and a half I've been using them. Never a problem. Okay, never a problem. Now the thing is, I know that I get falsely reported all the time. All right? But it just so happened that there was a person who false reported me, okay, during my day off 2 days ago. And they did it on Twitter via the Stream Element S account, which is their Stream Element support account. And they literally linked to something from 13 years ago. I wish I could make this up, but they linked to a video of me playing Left 4 Dead 1 13 years ago. Okay? That's just insane. They're actually saying that I'm going to be canceled today for someone who I was 13 years ago, even though I've actively come out so many times over the years apologizing for the things I said and did in my early days on YouTube. I totally understand now how wrong those things were, and I told you guys repeatedly what the deal was with that. Okay, that it was bad. I've changed. My content today is very different, so please forgive me, and I promise I won't do that stuff anymore, right? And if you take a look, in the last 5 years, I've been a full-time streamer. Am I perfect? No. Every once in a while, I get angry and I'll say something wrong. The funny part is the things that people say, oh, it's offensive or whatever. It's not, like dark humor.
Joking about the slave trade, which was your most recent one, and you guys know all of the slurs and the slurs against racial groups, gender groups, whatever have you. Phil has said it over and over again. Like I said, we have over 400 videos on Go that clearly show our boy Phil being a terrible person. And there is no excuse for that. No excuse for it. So let's keep going.
Is not offensive and cancelable. It's just dark. If I'm making a joke in a playthrough recently about, children being kidnapped and sold into slavery by corrupt cops, it's a joke. It's not meant to be real. It's a dark joke. There's nothing wrong with that. It's dark humor. Maybe you think it's not funny, but that's not something that's wrong, offensive, or cancelable. It's just a dark joke. Okay? Doesn't mean because I'm joking about it happening. The villains of the game are doing heinous things. I make a joke about something else heinous they could be doing. Doesn't mean I support child slavery. You're an idiot if you believe that. But this is what it is. These idiots, what they do is they actually will do that, right? They'll actually say, oh, Phil meant it, and this is what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's emphasis on dark humor. And it's not something that I even do all the time. And every once in a while, I'm going to make jokes like that. No one has a problem with it. I've been on YouTube for 14 years. Even the things I said 13 plus years ago, right? All they do is they flag the video and say, oh, it's an adult rated video or whatever. They're not going to ban me from YouTube for dark humor and things that I did 13 years ago, and certainly nothing that I have done recently has been deemed as anything wrong either, because I purposely go out of my way to make sure that there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying and doing on my streams. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it on purpose. I'm literally, I think differently now. I don't think that way anymore like I used to. I used to always think, what's the most risque joke? What's the most offensive thing? I don't do that anymore. Okay? So.
That joke about the slave thing was a couple weeks ago.
Why am I making this video? Why am I streaming this right now? Why am I talking to all of you? So 2 days ago, this person false reports me to Stream Elements saying, oh, do you want this person in your program? Here's something they did. And I responded, that was a video from 13 years ago. Yikes. Okay? I talked about it on yesterday's podcast. Okay? I said, this is ludicrous that people think that this is like acceptable or even normal behavior. A normal person, does not obsess about a content creator so much that they go back in time 13 years ago into their old videos, find a specific one out of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of videos that have been uploaded to find something they think that in the modern day would be not kosher, cancelable, whatever you want to say, and then try to report them to a payment processing service. It's not even, that's what it is. It's basically a pop-up message service. You know what I'm saying? Like alerts for contributions or whatever. And say, oh, do you want this person using your service because this is what they said 13 years ago? That's not normal behavior. That is the behavior of someone who's manic, someone who has something wrong up here. They're obsessed to the point of, you know, doing this crazy behavior. And yes, this is not me hating on someone. This is factual, all right? You do not behave like that if you don't have something wrong with you. You don't. You don't obsess about people on the internet and do these actions.
Alrighty, video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, taking a stroll down memory lane and accounting for every single time our boy DSP was fired, laid off, mistreated, whatever the hell he wants to call it. And, you know, I'm a person that you can look at someone and, you know, based on their pattern of behavior, you can pretty much know what the person is. So looking at our boy DSP's pattern of behavior of the last 15 years, we know who he is. He's lazy, he's manipulative, he doesn't want to do any work whatsoever, finds shortcuts every single possible way. He does it in his streams, he does it with his works, and so on. All is obsessed with money. Main reason why he got fired from Best Buy, because he tried to scam Best Buy by using his employee discount card, you know, for not personal use equipment that he purchased. Over and over again, we have example over example of Phil's crappy behavior getting him in trouble. And I expect the next shoe to drop will be YouTube. So if that happens, I will make sure to remake this video and add YouTube to the list. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, holding accountable DSP, holding his feet to the fire and making sure that everyone knows who he is, and that is a terrible person. Peace out.